Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our live broadcast tonight. This is a different type of presentation that will be taking place tonight. And I just want to thank those of you who are joining me right now. I do know and I'm aware that there's going to be a State of the Nation's address tonight. And somehow broadcast has coincided with that. But I want to thank those of you who are joining me tonight, because this is a very important broadcast that we're having tonight, particularly for those of you who are members of our defunct Bethesda Christian Center, which is now Unravel International Ministries. And this is going to be a very important broadcast for you tonight, because this is going to let you know what happened to your beloved church.
Yes.
That is why we are here tonight with the First Lady. Looking all beautiful tonight.
Thank you.
First Lady, so good to
looking
see
all
you.
handsome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good that you all are able to join us this evening. And I would really appreciate if you can just be attentive to some of the things I'm going to be sharing tonight, because they're very pertinent, they're very important. I've held on to this information for over 4 years now. And now I would like to share this on this platform. But before we do, I just want to say a quick word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity, and particularly for this day, for us to gather together in order to speak our truth. I pray that you will give me the unction and the enablement to be able to declare all the words that you have placed on my heart. I give you praise in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen and amen. All right. Well, what I would like to draw your attention to whilst I'm going, because I'm also going to read from the Bible. I don't do anything without reading out of the Word of God. So I want you to, get hold of your Bible. And not only that, those of you who probably have laptops, or whether you do have an iPad or even on your phone, there are certain information that I have posted which will serve as exhibit for some of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight, so that I'm not just speaking without facts and without receipts, just to prove some of the things that I'm trying to share with you tonight. So I want to start out from the first, the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5. 1 Timothy chapter 5. And I want to read from verse 19. And it reads, it said, "Do not accept an accusation." I'm reading this from the Amplified Version. "Do not accept an accusation against an elder unless it is based on the testimony of at least 2 or 3 witnesses." Now, that's what you normally do in a court of law. They will get as many witnesses in order to corroborate an accusation before a person is indicted. You don't do it the other way. And that is why I believe our law system provides for one to be assumed, to be innocent, or presumed to be innocent before found guilty. But in our case, we were found guilty and we were indicted in the public court of opinion, on social media, and so many different platforms across the board, be it within the country and also continentally and internationally as well. And our name was brought into disrepute. Our ministry was brought into disrepute over, accusations without facts. But tonight I want to show you some things tonight that will help you understand what really transpired. So these folks did not take time to do a due diligence to even find out what our side of the story is before they went out on this vicious rampage, and the reason why they did it, you will discover it tonight. You will find out the reason why they did what they did. Now, verse number 20 says, "As for those leaders or elders who continue in sin," which is not our case, right? It says, "reprimand them in the presence of all the congregation, so that the rest will be warned." The reason why I'm reading the scriptures is because yesterday when I was speaking, I was talking about the fact that everything in God has got a covering and it has got a jurisdiction. And there is a jurisdiction with which certain things must be dealt with. That's why when you commit an offense, you are indicted in a certain jurisdiction where that offense was committed. This is an offense that is committed according to their claim within the jurisdiction of the kingdom of God. That's why when Paul writes, he says, do not take your matters outside of the jurisdiction of God's kingdom. God's kingdom is different from the way the world does their own things. And it's right there in your Bible. But these guys, they went outside of the kingdom of God's jurisdiction and they took us out to the public arena of life. And there they went and said all kinds of things. And I know some of these folks who threatened me on the phone and said, well, if you don't come and sit down and for us to grill you, those were the words they used, to grill me over whatever they might, be claiming is their accusation against me, that they would take me out to the newspaper. And I wouldn't have my own children, or let me say sons and daughters in ministry, speak to me in that kind of a tone, telling me that they're going to grill me over what? What is, they have not even shown me anything. They have not shown me anything that they claim that I've done, but yet they are saying words like that. And there's a reason why they said what they said, the way they said it, the intimidations, and all the accusations that they brought. There's a reason. So let me take you to 1 Timothy chapter number 1. So they went outside of divine jurisdiction. They committed a spiritual violation. The spiritual violation they committed is in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 18. They brought an accusation against us without evidence, without facts. It's been over 4 years now. They can't show facts for any of the things that they've accused me for. Now, look at 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1, the reason why I'm reading this is because I did not want to go down this route. Because I was supposing that the people who are doing this were people that I raised up, my wife and I. We raised them up spiritually. I've been speaking over the past few days about what we have done in terms of capacitating the minds of the people. Just the hours and hours and hours for over many years, 25 years that we have put in our time, effort, sweat, and blood, in trying to raise up, capacitate, and empower people who now turn around and they decided that they were going to destroy your name, destroy your reputation, your career, and your legacy. That's what they tried to do. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to go this direction, but they forced my hands because for 4 years, I patiently waited. And I've been saying this for over 4 years that we waited. Many people who castigate us, now that I'm coming out and we're speaking our truth, they cannot even endure what we have endured for 4 weeks for some of them. And maybe for some of them, maybe they try, maybe for 4 months, they will not be able to endure it. But here we are, still resilient, and we were quiet, and God decided to reveal to us what has happened. I don't believe that this is just man, but God just gave us the wisdom to be able to decipher, this evil scheme that was put together that horribly went wrong. In 1 Timothy chapter 1, in verse number 8, he said, we know that the law is good when used correctly, for the law was not intended for people who do what is right. So the law was not intended for the innocent, but for the guilty. It says it is for people who are lawless and rebellious. So the law is for those who are lawless and rebellious, who are ungodly and sinful, who consider nothing sacred and defy what is holy, who kill their father or mother or commit other murders. That is pretty much what these folks have done metaphorically, the conspirators that I'm talking about. And so what transpired in our church, and this is the reason why I had to bring this thing out, because like I said, since I tried for 4 years and they will not come to a place where they come to their senses and do what is right, it became obvious to me that they have chosen the path of the lawless. They have chosen the path of, the unrepentant, the ungodly, the sinful. And they are not considering the things that they have done in a sacred field, in a mystical field. and they defy what is holy. That's what they have done, according to the verse that I just read to you. 1 Timothy chapter 8 and 9. Chapter 1, rather, 8, verse 8 and 9. I have so much to say, so I'm trying to get this in a hurry out. Now, what transpired in our church over 4 years ago was a carefully coordinated scheme. And it was carried out under the assumption that it would never be uncovered. Sam Masego assumed the role of a silent betrayer, more like what Judas did. He came and he identified Jesus with a kiss. I'd said this in my previous broadcasts, that he had gone about asking certain people to investigate me. And that word came back to me. The people that he told, it came back to me that this was what was requested. So I'm aware that he was investigating. And I'm aware of a lot of things that he started doing around the period of June of that year before he actually resigned. He went on a very forceful effort in trying to get me to be ambushed. I don't have time to go into detail about that particular one, but when I look at the events of the things he did, you know, leading up to his resignation, I could see the whole sign that was written all around it. And there are evidences of people who he spoke to investigate us. Now, he assumed that role of a silent betrayer. And what I mean by that is that he was operating behind the scenes. You know, he was in the shadows, you know, so that he would not be seen, just like Judas was in the shadows, so that he would not be pinpointed as the one who actually betrayed Jesus. But Jesus knew who was going to do it. So it was the rest of the folks that didn't know that Judas's kiss was a kiss of betrayal. Yes. So we know who Sam is. He has been revealed to us by the Spirit. You know, so I'm not surprised. You know, so that whole thing about the smoke screen of he was not well remunerated, that's a lie. You know, because I speak to him every day. Like I said in my broadcast, was it yesterday or you know, my previous ones? We speak every other day, if not every day. And he has never brought any complaint to me about the fact that he had a problem with the remuneration. Mm-hmm. So he went around and said a lot of things to people to present himself as a victim. And that was why people empathized with him, they sympathized with him. So he played the victim card. And I think he swayed a lot of people in that direction. More so, you know, this is a foreigner. According to his words, when he spoke to me, which I do have on record, he said to me that I came to enslave him in his own country. So you could see the trajectory where it was coming from, you know. So let me not say a lot of things that probably might not be necessary here in this broadcast, because we have a lot of things to cover. But he went about and gave distorted information designed to cast himself, like I said, as a victim and to make us look like this evil, devilish people, you know. And I don't know to what degree he went, because when I see the kind of response that I get from some of the brethren, I'm wondering what he had told them. And like I previously told you guys, the wife has been going around to the houses of a lot of the church members and, you know, bad-mouthing us, and some of those came back to us as well. So I'm not speaking about something that I do not have facts on. I have facts, I have names, and I'm going to keep those people anonymous for now, you know, but that's what happened. So let me say this. First of all, these alleged conspirators did not carefully consider the gravity of the weight of this scripture that I just read about how you should treat a situation where if you bring an accusation against an elder, there's a certain way it must be done. I mean, the world must not be better in their standards of judgment more than the church. But they have not even treated me like the world. They didn't even treat me like the world. They didn't give me any benefit of the doubt. They ambushed me while I was away. That was what they did. Sam ambushed me while I was away. I mean, I've been pastoring our church for 25 years. I travel back and forth. Like I've said before, what he should simply have done was hand the church over back the way it was given to him. Yeah. A servant must be faithful or found faithful in that which is committed into his hands. He did not do that. Yes. He ambushed me while I was away, and then they carry out their plan. But it's unfortunate that I thought they should have been smarter. But what they did was so veiled. It was so veiled to the point that it had to take God to actually show us, how to like connect all the dots. Because they did it in such a way that it was more like, it was more like, I'm trying to find the right word to use. Like when a magician actually does his tricks. I'm looking for that word. It's more like an invisible hand, if I may call it that way, such that, the more you look, the less you see.
Okay.
That's more like the way this whole thing was done. So they did not consider the gravity of the weight of this scripture that I just read on how to treat an elder to ensure that their actions were not in spiritual violation. Secondly, they did not carefully consider the fact that my wife and I were the founders of the church. They were not even there when God gave us the vision. They were not there when I started the church with just a small group of people, 5 people, my wife and I and our family, when we started the church. They were not there. And they did not consider the fact that we were their pastors for 25 years without no criminal record. And yet, without mercy, like ravening wolves, they ganged up like a vicious mob in their effort to hijack our ministry through violence and by fraudulent means. And thirdly, they did not carefully consider the danger that they were going to expose our lives to. After 25 years of hard work, day and night, sweat, blood, sleepless nights, and under constant pressure of a large ministry such as ours. Constant pressure. We were under constant pressure. As my wife and I invested our entire youthful lives to empower these very same people to become great. And what they did was turn around and carry out this rebellious act. Fourthly, they never considered the long-term impact of what their actions would do to the reputation of my own beautiful, hardworking wife sitting next to me here. We have our own dreams. And those dreams were put on hold for so many years while she was serving the church. And everything she wanted to do, she did it partially. My wife could actually be, and I'm not saying this to boast, she could actually be on the same par with people like Versace of this world.
Yes.
She can be on the same par with them. Because those people, they don't even make the clothes themselves. They're designers, but they don't even make the clothes themselves. My wife is not just a designer. She can make the clothes from beginning to finish.
Yes.
And she will do it at the same level of quality that you'll find in a Versace store. Yeah. Or any of this well-known famous brand. But she put that life on hold to serve God's people. Yeah. So think about if she had invested that time and went into that world, how huge, how big would she have been today?
That's right.
Her name will have been in everybody's mouth. People will have been going into her store to buy stuff. Even though she did open her own store, but she couldn't put in her time fully into it. Yes. Because she had to give much of that time to ministry. Yes. Now, she was going to take that dream when we came on sabbatical. She was busy putting together, that vision, that dream, that she was going to now go and fully do what she wants to do in ministry. With regards to her career. Yeah. But that was put on hold by the devious acts of these people, and they never even considered her mental health.
Yeah.
They never considered that. What would that have done to her mentally, what they have done? Yeah. Put her photo out there to the whole world to see for having done what? What did she do for them to put her photo out there? And now what that has costed is something very huge. You see, because it made her lose a big financial investment partner. Yes. That wanted to go into an investment partnership with her clothing. Yeah. And it was going to be an international brand she was going to roll out. Worldwide. And these people pulled out when they saw this. Yes. So it was a massive sabotage on her part. Yes. And I'm sharing this with you not just as brethren, but to the entire nation, South Africa, to hear this, so that they understand the magnitude of what they have done. They shamed her before the entire world for no reason. Yes. And her dream was shut down. Yes. And this is what they did, and probably do not understand how weighty their actions were. Yeah. See, they did not even consider my children and the impact that this will have on them. The stigma that it places on their lives. When they go out there and people Google their parents, what do they find? over something we did not do.
Yes.
That we sold a church property for 300 million and we ran off or absconded with the loot. That was what they claimed. That was what they accused us for. And that whole thing took off a storm. Now, they did not consider my children, they did not consider my grandchildren, and yet they have kids.
Mm-hmm.
These people have kids, but they did not consider the fact that we are parents.
Yes.
They did not consider that we are grandparents. We have grandchildren.
Yes.
See, I also have an 88-year-old mother. My mother is going to be 90 in 2 years. She's 88 years old. They did not consider the fact that I have a mother. Mm-hmm. They did not consider that I also have an 80-year-old mother-in-law. Why am I mentioning them? Both of them are still alive. And we have been, taking care of them for close to 30 years now since their husbands died. And these two women have been extremely traumatized by what has happened to us. Yes. That it has affected their health. Yes. Their health has depreciated as a result of what they have done. Mm-hmm. So what these, conspirators do not realize is the immense gravity of their actions, mm-hmm. which have also adversely affected the quality of the lives of a number of people that we support with monthly food allowance, our relatives, tuition fees that we help with, rent that we help other people with, groceries that we help other people with, and so many other financial needs that a lot of people who are dependent on us, from a family side, friends, all kinds of people that we help. Yes. Because my wife and I, we do our philanthropic work anonymously. Yes. We don't go out there and start singing or start making noise. And these people, their lives have been adversely affected in ways that it's unbelievable. Yeah. Now, let me read this because I want to move along quickly and get to the point. In Ecclesiastes chapter number 10, verse number 8, I read this verse of scripture, I believe it was yesterday, in our discourse. I said, he who digs a pit, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8, he who digs a pit for others will fall into it. Yes. And whoever breaks through a fence or a stone wall, the Bible says serpent will bite him. Now, I read this scripture and I brought to your attention the fact that this scripture speaks about the fact that we live in a mystical field with a mirror effect. And I said to you that the earth on which you walk on is a mystical field. And the reason why I call it a mystical field is because of the mirror effect that God has designed this mystical field to reflect. And that mirror effect says that whatsoever you show the mirror reflects it back. That's why Genesis chapter 8 verse number 22 says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. So whatever you put into the ground, it brings it back up to you. It gives it back. So what they have sown has come back. That's what I'm simply saying by saying this. And I want it to be clear, that this is a mirror effect situation. Yes. Such that what was meant for evil has turned around like a boomerang. Mm-hmm. So dear brethren, and the people of South Africa, and especially the intelligence agencies. Yes. It should be known that this platform that I'm on right now is a platform that is being monitored by all intelligence agencies around the world. CIA, FBI, the MI5, the Mossad, everybody, they monitor this platform, Facebook. That's right. So what I'm saying right now, it's not just for the consumption of the South African audience, or even for our own government, or even for officials in our own government. Like I said, my hand had to, they had to move my hands in this direction. We need to save our own reputation. Yes. Because someone cannot do you harm innocently, and then they just drive off into the moonlight and pretend like nothing happened. So my wife and I are here tonight to expose a hostile takeover scheme. Yes. That we strongly believe wasn't just within the corridors of spiritual violation, but crimes of a financial nature. And it involves, allegedly, I believe, it involves racketeering, misrepresentation, collusion with corrupt government department officials, and possibly theft. And this matter must be fully investigated. Yes. So I want to start with a Department of Social Development NPO Directorate website video clip in which I want you to go to. I posted it an hour before we came on this broadcast. Because if you will notice on that video, there are two identical Bethesda Christian Center organizations or registrations with two different NPO numbers. If you go back, go check that video. If you're watching me right now, check the video, go back to the video, click on it. And when you click on it, you'll find out that the two different Bethesda Christian Center registrations have two different NPO numbers. And one might ask, what is the relevance of this video? Yes. Well, that's what we are here to discuss. That's what we are here to look at. And I also want you to take note of the documents that I posted as well. There are documents that I posted that I have actually labeled or titled with Doc 1, 2, all the way to Doc 11. So if we start with Doc 1, what you're going to find is the first picture of, we have actually about 8 people here in this picture, including a lady. And I mentioned all their names. Now, if you notice, and I want you to notice that there is one person in that group photo that I actually blacked out his face, and he's a pastor, and previously I posted him on that platform, but I noted that he wasn't a part of, the whole conspiracy that took place. So my apologies goes to the pastor, and it was just a part of this group here, because like I learned, he came in to help. But when he came in to help, and I'm referring to Pastor Mbokazi, I found out that he came in to help, and when he came in to help, his comments were, and he said this in Zulu to somebody, that there is no God here. What these people are doing is very ungodly, and he doesn't want to be a part of it. He washed his hands and walked away. And he left. And I commend this man of God greatly for what he has done, that he could see evil, sense evil, and all that took place whilst they were busy carrying out this campaign of hostile takeover. Was they kept on fighting each other. The fight was intense, and the fight was over, well, whatever their greedy quest was. That was what the fight was all about. So they kept on fighting each other. Now, these are the first group of people that took over the board of the church. And what I want you guys to note here is these people that you see here, while the folks who were very vicious, some of them, people like Michel Sioyo, he was the one who was in charge when they first started as the chairman of this group. And also with Bishop Paul Verlaine, who was the straw man and the one who was appointed illegally as an administrator over a church that, he's from another denomination. He's not, I don't even know this man. And he came and presided over a church that when I asked him questions, if I wrote him a letter before he took this office, and I warned him, I said, stay away from this. This is a rebellion going on. He did not listen to me. He still went ahead. I mean, there is no ministerial decorum here or ethics. I, the pastor of the church that you were called in to come and administrate, sent you an email, and I have the record of it, and I explained to him everything that was going on, and he disregarded my words. And when he spoke to me, he was vicious. He was vicious. He sounded dismissive, xenophobic, and he lied. He lied that he spoke to me that I was in Durban when I was here in the United States. That was what he went and told this group. And this group kept on saying, oh, Pastor Clement is in Durban when I wasn't. That was the lie a bishop came to tell. I confronted him, and he actually, he apologized for it. And so many other things he has done that he apologized for. He said he didn't even know how he became an administrator. He didn't even know he wrote me legal letters, which he sent me, and some of them are posted there, and you could see his name. They said he couldn't even recognize those letters anymore. You see, this is the kind of stuff that's going on behind the scene. And I'm wondering, how could our nation have descended to this point where there is no more justice? All right, so let's move away from doc number 1. And I want to go to doc number 2. Now, doc number 2 is very important, because if you guys look at the date of doc number 2, this was dated 18th of April, 2022. And I want you to know that I've had this document since then. I mean, think about how long I've held this document that I'm about to show you. And what is interesting about Doc 2 is that it's addressed to me, pastor@bethesda.org.za. And by the way, this email has been seized by the same people, violating my pastor-congregation relationship and anonymity. You know, they have gone through all my emails and they have seen everything that I have communicated with the members of the church. So any one of you have had any problems that you've told me that you are having any issues, these folks have read all your emails.
Yeah, and they even
they intimidated somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
They went to my email and they found out somebody who was in support of some certain decision we wanted to make, and they went and they intimidated this lady, even with the police.
Yes.
They sent her a letter and intimidated her with the police.
Yes.
This is how brazen these people are. It's either they are ignorant or they are above the law.
Yeah.
It's either any of the two. I don't know which one it is, but we established it. And I hope the National Prosecuting Authority is listening to this video. The NIA, people like Lassie Matope, who blocked me recently, and you say you work with the NIA, but you blocked me because you don't want to tell the truth. You went out there and you wrote on my Facebook that I didn't pay you a cent while you were my bodyguard. Lassie, you lied. You are not my bodyguard. I never employed you as a bodyguard. That is not true. You are misinforming the public. Because we have protocol department in the church, and you are not the only one that's the protocol, a volunteer in the church. All of them are volunteers. We don't pay any volunteers.
No.
But you came, and now these are the kind of things that incite people against their own leaders. And then it's part of this bitterness. South Africa, listen to me. This is part of the bitterness that I've gotten us to this point. People who are fighting their own little petty battles against their own pastors. And they come and they all gang up together. And they pretend like, you know what? Oh, no, pastor, we are for you, when that's not the truth. So, I hope people like you, Lassie, is listening to this so that you have something to go and investigate. And not that you guys should be investigating somebody that's building the nation. It doesn't make sense for you to fight one of your best.
My God.
I am one of the best that came into the country. I am not bragging and I'm not boasting. My work is there. I am one of the best. When it comes to naturalized citizens of South Africa, I am one of the best. I want the whole world to hear this. My wife and I, we were one of the best.
That's right.
So why would you want to destroy one of your best?
That's right.
Does it make any sense? I've been investigated by NIA so many times, according to a confession by one of the NIA people who was planted within my own church. And I probably had a couple of them sitting there in the church. What sense does it make? What am I being investigated for? For doing a lot of good in the country? It doesn't make any sense. For both of us doing a lot of good, empowering people, is that the reason why I'm being investigated? And there are a lot of people who are doing criminal activity all over the whole place, stealing in billions. And yet none of these people are even in jail. None of them have been indicted. None of them, nothing has happened. And they go back and they take positions that they are not even competent to run. And it's all a lot of bolster. And yet people like us who have done the real work of empowering the lives and transforming, we have practical testimonies of lives that have been transformed in the thousands. In the thousands over the years. And is this what we get? So look at the document. It's a letter of demand. All right? From Bethesda Christian Center, NPO. Now, the reason why I took you previously to the first exhibit, which was the video, that was where I started from, is to build a case. And I want you to know something here, that Bethesda Christian Center says NPO, but what's the NPO number? You would notice a trait throughout their entire correspondences. They always do this. Bethesda Christian Center, NPO, but they don't put the NPO number. And what I'm alleging is this NPO is that duplicate Bethesda Christian Center that you see that was cloned. These guys went and cloned our church. If you go back to the video, you'll notice that our church, the original one, you know, we established our church and we registered with the NPO department, you know, the non-profit organization. We registered way earlier than the second registration, which was in 2009. Go back to that video and check it. This is my suspicion, and I believe that I'm right on it based on what I'm going to show you tonight. They started probably this entity, which is a duplicate of our own organization, since 2009. If I want to go by that registration, that it was not backdated, If it was not backdated, that means that this plan has been on since 2009. Look at how far that has been. 2009. So it took them 11 years to build this, hostile takeover plan.
Yeah.
About 12 years, because they struck in 2021. That was when they struck. All right. So think about this. When you look at clause 1.1, they say we act for Bethesda Christian Center, NPO our client. All right. Then we get to 1.2. He said we are instructed by Bishop Paul Veren, the administrator of our client. Now they are writing to me, the founder of Bethesda Christian Center. They are writing to me. I found the church. I'm the senior pastor of the church. And then I appointed elders in the church that I founded. And these folks who are talking are not even elders in the church. No, these are agitators. And now the agitators went and complained to the NPO directory that we are in violation of not having an AGM. And on the basis of an AGM, they shut down the church. On the basis of an AGM. And this has never been the culture of our church, to have an AGM with all the members of the church. We do have an AGM with the leadership of the church. That's our structure. That's our structure. Now, they went and interpreted our constitution as it will suit them. They looked for a loophole. And they found a loophole that's okay. He hasn't been having AGMs. That's going to be the basis of the indictment. Okay, let's move on from that. So, Paul Veren is the administrator that they pushed on us against our will. Now, the question is, who is their unidentified client here? Which, if you go back to clause 1.1, they said is Bethesda Christian Center. Who is Bethesda Christian Center? That's me and my wife and our leadership. And we were still the board directors of this Bethesda Christian Center that they call their own client. How can you institute a legal letter against an entity, a registered entity, where you are neither a director there, and you call that entity, your client? You say you are the owner of the entity, right? How is that possible? Okay, so the administrator says of our client appointment as such pursuant to a notice of non-compliance issued by the Department of Social Development in terms of the Non-Profit Organization Act, number 71 of 1997, dated 16th of March 2022. So the non-compliance letter was issued on the 16th of March 2022. All right. Note that the letter was on the 16th of March 2022, and about a month later, according to my notes there, they were already issuing a letter of demand for what they came for. Well, you guess it. The building. That's what they came for. I hope you can see it. Okay. In this regard, point 1.3. 1.3 says, we attach to this letter a copy of the resolution of the members of our client adopted at a meeting held on the 22nd of March 2022. According to the NPO Act, when a letter of non-compliance is issued out, you have 30 days to respond. So calculate the March 16th to March 22nd. It's barely a week they're already acting on a letter of non-compliance that was not sent to them. It was sent to me. The department never allowed me to act on it. They sidelined us completely and decided that they were going to be in cahoots with this group who are agitators, who had gone and they already set up a parallel, duplicate, cloned Bethesda Christian Center that they were going to use to carry out this scheme. I hope you're following me. Now, a copy of resolution of the members of our client adopted at a meeting held on the 22nd of March, 2022, that's 6 days later, whereat Bishop Veren was appointed as the administrator of our client. And I'm reading, this is their evidence here on the ground. I'm reading this letter. This was sent to me. So note, according to the dates that stated here, they were already planning 6 days after the letter of non-compliance that they want to instigate, that they went to see 6 days of non-compliance that they went to instigate at the NPO directorate. I'm reading actually my notes here. So they went and instigated the NPO directorate to give us a letter of non-compliance. And who did this? This was Molefe Selepedi. He was the one that was sent, according to one of the directors there, who was a female, that Zakel Nkize was the one who sent them there because he had the connections. And obviously he had the money. And I don't know if anyone was incentivized, but that's part of what the investigation has to be. Who was incentivized at the NPO Directorate to carry out this act? Destroying the lives of thousands of people. Over how much? How much were they paid if they were paid? Now, let's look at this. So, I want you to see 1.3.2. A copy of letter from the DOSD dated 14th of April 2022 acknowledging the appointment of Bishop Veren. So by the 14th of April, which is barely a month after they had issued it, they had already moved to make an appointment of an administrator when they already gave us an option in their letter of non-compliance that we should appoint a new board of directors, which they do not even have the rights to do. Mm-hmm. They said that to us, and while we implemented that, they canceled our, the election that we did. They canceled it. They even didn't acknowledge it. And they went ahead and they went and acknowledged these guys who are conspirators. And they never even approached the church to ask them that, were these people even a member of your church? Now, you know what I'm saying? This should alarm every pastor in South Africa. Yes. Anybody can go to the NPO Directorate, lay a complaint against you, and hijack your church. That's what happened here. Mm-hmm. Let every pastor hear what I'm saying right now. You are not safe.
Yes.
Anybody, without being verified, whether they are members of your church, what was the verification from the NPO Directorate to know whether these guys were not just hijackers, which is what ended up happening. Mm-hmm. They don't even know who they are. They just went ahead, believed them, and they copied the person who came to complain. They copied him into the non-compliance letter. And when they copied him into the non-compliance letter, he sent it out. And if you go back and look at my previous posting, he sent out a text message saying that, guys, our plan has started off. So let's go there and let's go and get the building and we can donate it to whoever we want to donate it to. Those were the words of Molefe Slepadi. It is there in black and white. Okay, let's move to the next page, Doc 3. Now, if you're in Doc 3, it says we are instructed, 1.4, by our client to address the correspondence to you by our client. They are writing to me. I am the founder of the church. I am the senior pastor. And in less than a couple of days, they have become the owners of the church. Which church? We are still the directors. So how are they able to consult an attorney and say they are the client when we were still in charge of our own ministry? There's a point that I'm trying to get across here. So we were instructed by our client, that clause says, to address this correspondence to you in the terms which follow. Our instructions 1.5 are set out in paragraphs 2 to 5 below. I'm going to also release the other portion of it, but I wanted to make a point out of this. If you notice point number 2, this is their goal. That's the first thing they mentioned. Church property. And now I want to read to you the revisionist history that took place here. It's a revisionist history. Remember that their organization, which I'm alleging, they went and duplicated at the NPO Directorate, was registered in 2009 with an NPO number, okay? Which they refused to disclose because that's what they were hiding. And they thought we would never discover this, but we found this out. We found this out. Somehow we found it. 2.1, it says, in and about 2006, our client identified a need for a new church building. Who is this client? I am the visionary of the building. My wife, I didn't even consult with our elders about it. This was our own vision that God gave. God told me in 1996 that I'm going to build something that will bring together all the peoples of South Africa, all the different races are going to come together within that place. Yes. Which is why we did this whole thing about Ubuntu, Simunye, all these songs that we're putting out there. Because that has always been our dream for the unity, the unifying of the continent. So they now say in or about 2006, our client identified a need for a new church building and consequently conceived a project in terms of which such building will be built. And they, in parentheses, say building project. I'm looking at doc number 3. Okay, so who is this? I'm asking the question again. Unidentified client that identified a need for a new church building. And I said, yeah, these guys are brazen. Because I conceived this way long before then. In fact, the church land was bought in 2003. Now, they were conceiving, in 2006, a vision and a project that the land had already been bought in 2003. So they must be talking about something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2.2, the building project required, in the first instance, land. Remember, they are talking from 2006. We've already bought the land in 2003. And the building project, according to clause 2.2, it requires, in the first instance, land on which the building will be constructed. Church property in parentheses. And in the second instance, money to finance it. You want to say something?
Yeah, and they registered their company in 2009.
In 2009, their company was registered. Okay? Now, look at 2.3. See, 2.2 is a brazen lie. It's a brazen lie. It's a fabrication of a great magnitude. And I'm wondering, are these people Christians? This was a vision that my wife and I, like I said, personally conceived alone.
Yes.
It's a big lie. All right. 2.3. In order to finance the building project, our client, not that word they keep on using, our client would, during church sermons, who is this person preaching? Is it Masego?
Mm-hmm.
Because which one of them are preaching on my pulpit? I have preached on my pulpit far more than all my pastors put together. Go check all my sermons. I preached all of them put together. I preached far more than all of them. Maybe double the times they preached, all of them. So here now they're saying, in order to finance the building project, 2.3, our client would, during church sermons, request its congregation or congregants to make contributions, either in the form of an offering, donation, or other alternative contributions towards purchasing the land. In 2006, towards purchasing a land that we've already bought in 2003. I hope you're listening, South Africa. And I hope you're listening, NIA. I hope you're listening, National Prosecution Authority. I hope you're listening, Hawks. I hope you're listening, Interpol,
Yes.
CIA, FBI. I hope all of you are listening.
Yes.
Because this was an accusation that was brought against my wife and I
Yes.
to defame us and to destroy our good name.
Yes.
Which we built painstakingly for 25 years.
Yes.
And I held this information all this while we suffered in silence. And we were castigated by a lot of people around the country. We were taken to Radio FM Nkosi, and over 7 million listeners, and we were mocked. And we were mocked. But look at the mess that you guys are actually going through right now. It's just getting started. Look at this. The building project, like they said, required in the first, I'm reading verse 2.3. So they raised money on their pulpit. They are the ones standing on the pulpit preaching, and they're raising the money. So all of you who have sat in our church, I'm sure you are like looking horrified. You're looking horrified like, what are we reading? Let's go to 2.4. A special purpose vehicle in the form of Bethesda Dream Center was established by our client. I'm still wondering, who is this client? Are they talking about me? I couldn't be suing myself.
Exactly.
I couldn't be writing a letter,
To
to myself from an attorney. That's not possible. Because all of these persons that they said did all this is me. I was the one who did all this. The Bethesda Dream Center was our dream. I even sent members of our church to Los Angeles for them to come and check the model here in Los Angeles called the Dream Center. I saw what they were doing. Pastor Matthew, and his father, what they were doing here, I forgot their surname. They have a Dream Center here in Los Angeles. And I sent 2 of our leaders to Los Angeles to be here for almost about a couple of months to volunteer and learn how to do the work. So that they can come to South Africa and we replicate it. Now they're saying it's their dream. They came up with the idea. Are you seeing the revisionist history? And BDC is a non-profit organization registered as such with the DOSD with registration number, and they were able to put the registration number there, but theirs, they will not release it. This is another fabrication of lies. So I'm wondering, if we were back in SA, what would these people have done to us if they are this brazen to write such a revisionist history? When they were not even there, and they're getting all their dates wrong. At least get your dates right and do a good due diligence to tell a good lie, not to tell this kind of poor lies. Look at 2.4. A special purpose vehicle in the form of BDC Dream Center was established. Okay, 2.5, sorry. A bank account. Now, hear this now. A bank account was established with Standard Bank Limited in the name of BDC. The congregants of our clients were directed by our client to make the contribution into this bank account. They did not open that account. That's a lie. Now, that's also another lie. Who is this their client that opened the account? It's me they're talking about. You couldn't be talking to me and be writing me a legal letter. Again, I couldn't be writing myself, a legal letter and addressing myself. That doesn't make no sense. Now, in 2.6, it says, in on about 2011, the church property was purchased by our client. Uh-oh. Did you hear me say earlier on that the church land was bought in 2003? And according to their own record, the church land was bought in 2011. So it couldn't be talking about us. They're talking about another organization. It's not us. This is made up. This is what these folks wrote to me. This was what their administrator, which they went and chose. They went and got these guys. They went to KwaZulu Natal and and they went and got the South African Council of Churches involved in carrying out this scheme. They were involved in it. They wrote me a letter. What have I got to do with South African Council of Churches in KwaZulu Natal? I wasn't even a part of the organization, much more to go all the way to KwaZulu Natal to get people to indict me. Now watch this. So, in and about 2011, the church property was purchased by our client, utilizing the contributions, supplemented by a loan in form of a mortgage facility from Absa Limited, which was something that I procured that loan on my own personal guarantees.
Yes.
How could that be their client? On my own personal guarantees. I signed a surety for the loan that was procured from Absa. Now they've got that right from Absa, but it wasn't from their client. I don't know who that client is. So it's getting uglier now. The lies. 2.7. Subsequently, the church building was constructed on the church property. Now, if you in 2011 bought the property, we already broke ground in 2010 and we started building. We already started building in 2010. You see how messed up their dates are?
Yeah, but by the way, I just want to, add this to it, because when you sign as a director, you didn't sign because you wanted to be the only director to sign, to be the guarantee for the land. You wanted all the board of trustees to sign. To sign the surety. They refused.
They all refused to sign the surety.
They cannot put their names to it. They cannot do that.
They did not want to take any financial risk.
Yeah. They all refused.
Yeah.
So my husband and I had to do the work.
Yeah.
We had to put our lives at risk. We had to put all our properties. We had to give a lot of properties so that they can be able to give us the loan to purchase.
That's what the surety is.
Yes.
Because when you sign surety, you sign it against your own investments.
Yes.
Your own liquid assets.
Yes.
That's what you sign a guarantee for, or surety rather for.
And that's what we did.
Okay. So now let's finish out in 2.8. Okay. So now that they've finished building the church, if you notice my notes at the bottom, before I read my notes at the bottom, 2.8 says, however, instead of the transfer of the church property being registered in the name of our client. Now look at the paradox here. It's like two conflicting stuff going on here. In the name of our client, this client who they claim have done all of this thing is me. Then the same me who have done all these things, they now say Pastor Clement Ibe procured that it be registered. I don't know what the meaning of the word procured is. I don't understand the definition of that word. Procured. That don't make no sense. That it be registered in the name of an entity known as World Outreach Proprietary Limited with registration number, whatever. The land was bought on that entity because there are many reasons for it. It was for the protection of the asset. Number one, it's actually for us to be able to get the loan.
Yes.
Because when the church approached the bank said, we're not going to give you loan. We don't want to get involved in reputational risk. Yes. For those people who are bankers, listen to me, you know what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be involved in any reputational risk. And what that simply means, let me break it down in simple language. If the church defaults and doesn't pay, the bank doesn't like coming after the church because it makes them look bad to the community. Yes. That they came and seized the church. Mm-hmm. Because the church is considered like a community center. Mm-hmm. And so if they come and seize it, it's going to look bad on the bank. That's why most churches don't get loans from the bank.
Yes.
That's a simple reason. So they now say, listen, you need to create a vehicle, which most of the churches in South Africa do. Mm-hmm. It's not strange what we've done here. And I don't want to mention any church's name, but some of your mega churches in South Africa, that's their setup. And we got an attorney to explain all of this to them if they don't understand it. And the attorney explained to them that a lot of churches do this. It's a vehicle, on which the property sits on. Mm-hmm. And remember that I had to procure that loan because none of our leaders want to sign and, have themselves, take a risk of any kind of a financial setback in case we are not able to pay for it. So they didn't trust in the vision. No. They didn't trust that we were able to pay whatever the amount was, which was 3.3 million that we had actually borrowed from the bank when we started, in order to balance off, the payment of the land.
Yeah.
They were not willing to take that risk with us. So we took that risk alone. Mm-hmm. And that was how the land ended up on the name of the entity that they're mentioning here. So there is no such thing as it was bought in one name and it was supposed to be registered in another name. It was already sitting on that entity because that's the entity on which we got the loan. Mm-hmm. So let me get this straight. Like I said in my notes here, they claim that they have this great church building project idea, conceived it, raised the money on a pulpit where they preach every Sunday. And I don't know who that person is that's preaching on that pulpit. And they came up with the architectural design of the building. All right. And the concept of the building. They came up with it, which was my idea. All of it. I sat with the architect. I told the architect what I wanted and we created a model. But now they're saying they are the ones who are the architects of this. And then they built it. Not one of those people have stepped their foot inside that place where we built it. I was the one who worked with the architect and maybe a team of another few people. These people don't even know what the building is like. They don't know the setup. They don't know the plan. They don't know nothing. This is a broad daylight hijack, yes. South Africa. Hmm. And we need to be very worried and very concerned for our nation. This is what they're doing in Johannesburg, hijacking buildings, government buildings, hijacking government lands. And they register into their names, lands worth billions. You find these syndicates, they come and hijack it. Now they are coming into the church. And that's what they are doing. I'm going to show you their scheme right now because they think I'm not going to be able to figure this out. But they are not going to get away with this.
No way.
They will not.
They will not.
Because I'm going to escalate.
Yes.
I'm going to escalate it anywhere I have to escalate it. I will escalate this.
We will all be arrested.
Yeah. So I said, they built it, and then they portrayed it in such a way that I came along as this hijacker, called Pastor Clement Ibe. And I don't understand how, did they put a gun on my head, or did I put a gun on their head? I don't know which one it is. Mm-hmm. To force them to now register the building that they conceived, that they built, that they raised the money on their pulpit, and I forced them now to register it in my own company's name.
That's what they say.
That's what they're implying.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go to Doc 4. Doc 4 is an exhibit here from the bank. And it's a proof of the parallel cloned account that they opened to raise a substantial amount of money. Now, if this company or this entity called Bethesda Christian Center, which they cloned, has been in existence to 2009, then the NIA must, or the Hawks or the National Prosecution Authority, they must investigate what has been going on in that account. If they have a bank account, they must investigate what has been going on there since 2009. We must go and look at their submission at the directory. What have they been submitting since 2009?
That's right.
In order for them to stay active, what have they been submitting to the directory? Now, when they open this account, I want you to know what happened on the top. Bethesda Christian Center, NPO. They did not put in their NPO number. Why do they keep on using that word NPO? Mm-hmm. What is the number of the NPO? You can't just say an NPO and it doesn't have a number. So what is the NPO number? See, the reason why this is so important, and this is coming from NetBank. This is a NetBank letterhead you're seeing right here. Because what I'm alleging is this was a duplicate NPO with the same exact name as Bethesda Christian Center, our original Bethesda. And to make matters worse, according to my notes here, they used our church letter illegally. Illegally, hear what I'm saying now, to raise substantial amounts of money. And I asked the question, why is the NPO missing? Mm-hmm. So they went to the bank and they opened this account. Now, mind you, this account was opened, if you look at the date, May 2022. When did the letter of non-compliance, when was it issued? In March 16. When did they try to send us the first letter of demand? Somewhere in April, a month later. And then a month later, they opened a bank account. Now, mind you, that these folks were not directors at Bethesda Christian Center. The original Bethesda Christian Center. They were not directors there. They have not hijacked the entity as at yet. They've not. We were still in charge. So South Africa, please, can you tell me, if our NetBank, and then somebody else went and opened a NetBank, same name, identical, opened another NetBank, and used a NetBank letter to tell people that you should make your deposits this way. Mm-hmm. You all can figure out what that is, right? That's what you call wire fraud. Yes, fraud. That's what they did. Because what document did they use to go to NetBank to open this account? That's the question that they need to answer. What document did they use? So they cloned the Bethesda Christian Center to deceive. Yes. So this is deceit right here. And then they opened that account, and then they sent out a letter. Okay, let's go to the next one. That you're going to see the letter they sent. Doc 5. Then Doc 5, remember in Doc 4, they opened the account on the 9th of May, 2022. Yes. When we get to Doc 5, they sent a letter on the 23rd of May, 2022. Now, when you look at that, if the account was opened on the 9th, do the calculation, the 23rd means that that's not from the 9th to the 23rd, do the math. It should be about 2. It might be about 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. Okay. Less than 2 weeks, they were already putting out a letter to our congregants because they had created a lot of division, animosity, incitement. They rose up like a mob in my absence to carry out this coup. So in Doc 5, notice what they did. They used, this is my letterhead, our church letterhead. They were not directors in our company, in the church. They were not directors, nothing. They have no right, no authority to use this letter. So they went and opened an account, and they need to explain how they got the document to open that account, because obviously it mustn't have been our account that they used to open up that. It wasn't our documents, rather, they used to open up that account. It wasn't our document. Mm-hmm. So now after they did that, they went and used our letterhead. And I want you to see what they did on the letterhead. Notice of change of banking details. Mm-hmm. Note the phrasing of the words. Change of banking details. Mm-hmm. You know in South Africa that companies will tell you, if anybody tells you that their banking details have been changed, please call us to report it might be a fraud. Yeah. They were so brazen that they said notice of change of banking details on our letterhead. Saying that do not give money to the banking details you knew before.
Which is the original.
Which is the original Bethesda Christian Center. Are you all seeing it? Mm-hmm. So now they say we hereby, these guys were not directors. We hereby notify all members of Bethesda Christian Center, BCC, of the change of accounts. This notification was sent by Zakel Mkize. And by the way, this man, based on, if you Google him, you will notice that he prides in building a very reputable auditing firm in South Africa that have won millions of tender contracts from the government. Millions. Hundreds of millions. And I'm not saying that lightly. I know it. Because I've sat with him and I've spoken with him. So now, he writes this letter. And knowing as a CA, that's where I don't know, the body that regulates the CA in South Africa, they need to look into this.
Yes.
This is a financial crime. So he writes this letter, knowing that you're a CA. You write this letter, knowing how you open the account. And he was one when I opened the account. See what the letter says. As part of our work to rebuild this body of Christ, I don't know what body they are trying to rebuild. It was agreed in a general meeting held on Friday, the 22nd of April, 2022, that a qualified interim treasurer, I'm wondering, a qualified interim treasurer must be appointed. Subsequently, Prof. Zakel Mkize was nominated and appointed as the interim treasurer. Prof. Mkize is a qualified and registered chartered accountant. So I'm not saying it by making up that story. It's there, it's right here. He has worked at a senior executive level for over 16 years and has amassed substantial experience. He holds, amongst other things, a master's degree in business administration from the Gordon Institute of Business Science, GIBS, and is a devoted member of BCC, As his first duty, I don't know which BCC they are talking about. I don't know if it's ours or theirs. As his first duty, he was tasked with opening a new bank account. The bank account was successfully opened, the details of which are as follows. Bethesda Christian Center, Bank NetBank. The account detail is there, and the branch code, which is Killarney Mall. And let me add this while I'm at it. We've already written, we wrote a letter to NetBank last year. I believe somewhere in April, we wrote a letter to NetBank. I actually wanted to put it back on the screen here. I'll post it later for everybody to see. A letter of demand from our attorney saying that they should turn in all the documents. Because when I discovered this, I found out that a fraudulent wire fraud, financial crime has taken place here. So I wanted to know who are the directors, what documents they used to open this account, how much went through that account. Was there any slush money from the NPO directory? Who participated in this financial crime? All of this must be rooted out. Now, they now say, we wish to appreciate all members for the steadfast commitment you have shown towards addressing the challenges we have, which I do not know what that challenges are. However, it must be mentioned that the work that is still outstanding is enormous and will require substantial financial resources. Are you all listening to that? We have reached a pivotal period in our journey where we stand to lose everything. Did you all hear that? Over somebody else's vision. This is not their vision. They were not there when I started the church. They were not there when we raised the money. And they were not the one raising the money. They stand to lose everything we have worked hard to achieve. What have they worked hard to achieve? I want to understand it. Although we understand the sensitivity surrounding the subject, it is important that everyone understands what is at stake. Look at the way they've gathered a mob, inciting them against us. It is our unity and generosity that has led us to achieve all that we have as a congregation. And it is now more than ever when that generosity is needed. So they were using this to raise substantial amount of money.
Yes.
Okay, it is upon each one of us to ensure that we preserve what we have built by contributing financially into the new account. Do you all see that? We will be empowering ourselves to protect what is rightfully ours. I want you to hear the language. What is rightfully ours. So, go to Doc 6. Doc 6 is a judgment that was handed down against Mr. Zakel Mkize. So here's the court judgment against Zakel Mkize as Doc 6. And to all unknown person for illegal or illegally and falsely using our letterhead to raise substantial amounts of money. So look at the judgment which was handed down by, this was on the 1st, according to the stamp. This is the 1st of July. what I did was I took them on legally immediately after this was done. After that letterhead was used, I took Zakele on immediately, and I took him to court. And you can imagine the proceedings of the court until the judgment was handed out on the 1st of July. Okay, so on this day, the 1st of July 2022, I'm reading the High Court judgment before Her Ladyship Justice Palane, and in the matters between Bethesda Christian Center MPC, and Zakele Nkize. This is me, Bethesda Christian Center, taking him to court because they have now cloned our church. And all unknown person associated with Nkize. Having read the papers filed on record and having heard counsel and having considered the matter, the order is as follows. That this matter is enrolled and heard as an urgent application. It was an urgent application. In terms of Uniform Rule 6, and non-compliance with the rules of this honorable court is condoned. The first and second respondents are interdicted from utilizing the applicant's letterhead. Did you all see that?
Yeah.
And any other intrinsic documents belonging to the applicant. The first and the second respondents are interdicted from publishing and or circulating any communications or information purporting to act on behalf of the applicant and as if authorized to act on behalf of the applicant, which is what they went and did. Look at doc number 7. The first and second respondents are interdicted from soliciting the custom of or dealing with or in any way transacting with any entity, person or company as if authorized to do so by the applicant or its directors. With any entity on our behalf, and yet they still kept on, interacting with the MPO directorate on our behalf as though they were us. That's a contravention. Because that's what it says here. The first and the second respondent are interdicted from soliciting the custom or the dealing with or in any way transacting with any entity. Any entity means any entity, including the MPO directorate. This was as in July the 1st of 2022, but they kept on carrying on their acts until they hijacked the real entity. After then, they threw away their clone entity. This is what they did. Look at point number 5 of the judgment. The first and the second respondent are directed to return to the applicant any and all documents and confidential information of the applicant still in their possessions. There is no order as to cost. I don't understand that. How can somebody commit a crime and you slap them on the back of the hand to go free? No cost. So this judgment is questionable.
It's biased.
Something is not right there. I don't want to go into the detail about the person who handed out this judgment. I don't want to say anything about it. So I'm going to leave that for now. Let's go to Doc 8. This Doc 8 was it's a very important document because this document was a letter of demand to cease and desist, which was issued against our lead minister, whom I appointed to oversee things when Sam Masego came with his smokescreen, ploy to resign from his position, which put the church in turmoil. Because when he did it, he went about it in a way that he already incited a lot of people when he did it. He incited people. He didn't just live peacefully. He did not. So for all those who are going around and agitating for him, he did not live peacefully. He tore the whole house up when he was going. He went around and told all of you all kinds of stories, trying to make himself a victim. That was what he did. That was his strategy. Then he took the same folks in our church and when I started the church down the road. That's what he did. Who are the ones who sponsored him? It's the same our members. Who sponsored everything he has done? Who went and rented a place for him, paid money for instruments, all the stuff. It was our own same people. Yeah. Where is the ministry ethics in that? What sense does that make? Now look at this. This was addressed to our lead minister. You see the one that's addressed. I don't want to call out his name, but you can see it on that letter. And it was also addressed to another, minister in church who was in charge of our, the media department or the IT department. Now, the letter of demand, cease and desist. Look at the tone. We act for the Bethesda Christian Center, NPO, our client. They keep on using that word, our client. We are instructed by Bishop Paul Veren, the administrator of our client. Appointment as such, pursuant to a notice of non-compliance issued by the Department of Social Development, all right, in terms of, okay, dated March 2022. In this regard, point 3, we attach to this letter a copy of the resolution of the members of our client adopted. This kind of like a repetition of what was on the letter of demand that they sent me as well. Held on March 22, at which Bishop Veren was appointed as the administrator of our client, and a copy of the letter from DOSD dated 14 April 2022, acknowledging the appointment of Bishop Veren as the administrator of our client. Now, I want you to understand that all of this was done in cahoots with whoever these folks were inside the NPO directory. Okay, watch this now. So, let's go to doc number 9. Now, if you found doc number 9, this is a continuation of that letter of demand from the attorneys. We are instructed by our client to address this correspondent to you in the terms which follow. Our instructions are that you, acting in concert with other persons, arrange for an impromptu election or appointment of an interim board of our client. Now, when they sent us a letter of compliance, they said we have 2 options. Either get an administrator or we should appoint a new interim board. And the reason why they wanted us to appoint a new interim board is so that these guys, these conspirators, can hijack the process. Yeah. And that's how they are going to hijack the church.
That's what they did.
That's what they did. So we decided to implement our non-compliance notice, and do you know what they did? They did not acknowledge it. They did not acknowledge it. And they went ahead and acknowledged some conspirators that I don't even know. That's what they did. We went and we wanted to remedy the non-compliance, notice they sent us. They did not allow us to remedy it. They did not even acknowledge. They did not recognize us. We tried everything, and we have receipts to show for it. The email correspondences that were never responded to. And we kept on sending to them, and they will respond back to these people on the other side, who are not even confirmed whether they know us or not. Meanwhile, they were operating with a clone Bethesda Christian Center. Remember, they were operating with that on the side, parallel, until they took over the real Bethesda entity itself. Now, watch this. So, 4.2. So the election we conducted to remedy the non-compliance notice was disregarded. And they are saying here in 4.1, you acted in concert with other persons, arranged for an impromptu election, appointment of an interim board of our client. But we are the one that was, the compliance was written to, and we're trying to remedy. And you say your client. So who is this shadow client? Who is this parallel client? Now, 4.2, the purported appointment was purportedly conducted pursuant to the notice of non-compliance, 4.2.1. 4.2.2, held on 10th of April 2022 at Bethesda Christian Center during the course of a church service. So if your client was in charge of the church service, how could someone else have conducted this at Bethesda Christian Center during the course of a church service at Bethesda Christian Center? How is that possible? Where was your client when this was being conducted at Bethesda Christian Center in the course of a church service? 4.2.3, call without notice to the members of our client. Call without notice. How could they be in charge and call without notice to the members of your client? Persons who are not members, 4.3, of our client and who had never until the day of the purported appointment attended a single service of our client. Participated in the election which resulted in the purported appointment. So it is glaring apparent, point 5, that the purported appointment flies not only in the face of the non-compliance notice, but the constitution of our client as well. This is so because, amongst other things, the non-compliance notice makes it clear that it is the members of the church that must appoint the interim structure. Okay, the rest of the story goes on here, right? Where they keep on mentioning their client. And they keep on mentioning their client. And when you go to Doc 10, it's a continuation. And they tell us the story of how their administrator was appointed, 5.4, by members of our client as already set out in paragraph 3 and above. So they went and created a shadow church, got some people together, and they operated as though they were Bethesda Christians and appointed Paul Brazen. And when they appointed Paul Brazen, they opened a bank account. And when they finally hijacked the real entity, they shut the account down. They shut the account with which they committed the financial crimes. They shut it down. Zakel and Kize went and shut the bank and net bank. Why didn't you continue with that account? Why did you shut it down? When I confronted Paul Brazen said that he was given a suitcase. He wasn't paid anything. Because I'm telling my truth. And he doesn't even know how he became an administrator. Those were his words. I have them on record. But this was the man who effected all the damage. They used him as a straw man to effect all the damage that happened. And then there are some people who are going around and advocating for them, believing their words, and saying that they were well-intentioned. Okay, let's assume that they are well-intentioned. Where are all of them now? Where is Zakel and Kize? Why did he leave? According to his own words, he later discovered and said it to me in his own words, it's on record, that these guys are destroyers. They are not builders. Because he told me that he built his own company right from the ground up. And he noticed that these guys have not really built anything and that they were all about chaos and anger and bitterness and they were not here to build. That was what he said with his own mouth. Where are all these folks now? You know what happened? They all disappeared. Now he's left with Molefe Silepadi and Sami Mashaba and one Kagiso. 3 of them. All the board people have resigned, one after the other. They keep resigning and they bring new people and they will resign. They will bring new people, they will resign. Everything that they have accused me of, they have done worse. Worse.
Did you forget the part that they took, Zakele took us to court? When they had a court judgment against us.
Yeah, I remember Mkize saying, when we won the first case against him, he said, the second one, you're not going to win it. Yeah. He said, I can guarantee you. Where do you go out to, a legal, dispute with somebody? And the person talks as though they are the judge. Yeah. He told me on the phone, he said, listen, this one you want it, I wouldn't fight it. He said, I won't fight this one. He said, but the next one that you are doing now, he said, he said, this one, you're going to lose it. I can guarantee you now.
And just truly, we lost.
And we lost the case. He guaranteed me, said, you're going to lose it.
That needs to be investigated.
That needs to be investigated.
The way the whole court...
You see, just by the mere things I've shown you because of time constraint, just by the evidences I've shown you guys, what they've done with even the financial crime that took place here. And the revisionist history that does not even align with anything close to what the real Bethesda was. It's enough to tell you this was a syndicate scheme that went badly wrong. The dates alone are wrong. Everything they said there is wrong. I don't understand why they didn't feed them, at least with the right dates. So what are they fighting for? What are they accusing me for? These very same folks went and sold a land that we bought.
Yes.
We bought it. I saw the land. I saw the land in Soshangube. And I was going to build a flagship empowerment center in the township. The first one that I'm going to build. And then we were going to move to Mamelodi. We were going to do another one in Atteridgeville. So Soshangube was going to be the first one and maybe one in Hamaskra. We wanted to have these flagship empowerment centers spread all around where we can take in young people who are, underprivileged or displaced, mostly displaced. And we've already modeled it in the city center. And it was working great. That was part of the work of the Bethesda Dream Center. And this was going to be like a place where we were going to have like about 30, 40 units accommodation for students. And they will share it in pair. So we can have 80 kids at the same time. With all the different amenities I've mentioned previously in some of my postings I've done.
Yes.
And you know what they did? They sold the land. Yes. The very same people who accused me that I sold the church property, they've sold cars, they've sold land, and what are they doing with the money? They are using it as legal fees to fight to get the church. And I'm telling them today, y'all are not going to come near it. No one of them will ever touch that building. They better know it today. Because I am now telling the entire South Africa, this scheme, this scam that went down, Nedbank owes us a lot of answers and a lot of explanation. The NPO Directorate owes us. I've sent a letter of demand to the NPO Directorate since April, addressing the assistant DJ at the time. I don't want to call names, and I've not gotten any report back. They said they're investigating it, but guess who is investigating it? The very same people who are a part of this scheme. And the ones who are investigating, and my attorney wrote them back and said, we are not going to have the very same people who are involved in this scheme to investigate themselves. This is what happens sometimes in our government departments. So when we listen to what's happening at Madlanga Commission, then we are wondering what's going on. This is it. Brazen.
This is proof. This is what they do.
And they're so brazen with the intelligence agency. Now we see what's happening with the intelligence agencies.
Yes.
Why would you carry me all the way to Interpol? For what?
For what?
Why would these people, if they say they are Christians, why would they take their own pastor to the Interpol?
Yeah.
And after 4 years, you can't show me what you have brought me to the Interpol for? I'm still here where I am. I should have been extradited.
Exactly.
Because whatever they were thinking about me was all based on suspicion. They took me to SARS. They took me to South African Reserve Bank. Where did they not take me to? The Hawks. They took me to the MPA. Everywhere. They took me everywhere. Washed our names in the mud. And these are people that sat under my teaching. And I empowered them. And I taught them how to do whatever it is that they are doing today. I made them as intelligent as they are. What do I get back?
Because they were wolf and sheep.
South Africa, here is it. You know what? I want you all to start reposting this.
Yes. Share it.
Share it. Repost it.
Expose them.
If you are in the intelligence agency, bring it to your intelligence agency.
Yeah. Start investigating and start arresting.
They must do the right thing.
Yes.
Righteousness must be served.
Righteousness exalts a nation.
Mm-hmm.
Sin is a reproach. Too much sin in the country, and that's the reproach that is happening in the country right now. If you want to stop that, then you need to arrest these people. You need to investigate them. Take action and do what is right for South Africa. A lot of people are suffering for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what is right.
Do what is right. Do what is right.
So that the land can be cleansed.
I have made this is our first expose, and I'm still going to bring other things to the fore.
Yes.
I'm going to bring other things to the fore. I didn't want to go this direction, but it forced my hands.
Yes.
I tried for 4 years or more to be conciliatory, to be kind, to be loving, to be gracious, but they took me for granted.
Yeah.
They mistreated me. They keep cursing me, abusing me, saying all kinds of things, slandering me. But they have to explain all of this now.
Yes.
Now, the place is lying there, and the development of that massive multi-purpose structure has been put on hold for over 4 years.
Yes.
Roofings and all kinds of things that need maintenance have not been maintained. I have my demands.
Yes.
I have my demands from the people who empowered them to do what they did. I have my demands.
Yes.
That building must finish the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
And the cost must be paid for. We have our demands.
Yes.
Defamation of our names, we have our demands. And thank God that I'm not there so that somebody does not do any harm to us because they wouldn't want us to get this out. God got us to the place where at least we're in safety to be able to say what we're saying now. And I don't know who else is behind them, who is in the shadows. And wherever they are, all of them are exposed.
Yes.
I'm declaring right now, I'm speaking it out so that
they are all exposed.
It goes out as a sound into the entire universe.
Yes.
They are all exposed.
Yes.
Because this is wrong on every level.
Yeah.
You don't find every day you walk into people who do something of this magnitude that we've done. And then you treat them this way. For what? What is the reason? What is the reason? And you jeopardize the lives of thousands of people over what? Over an AGM that you're claiming as your smokescreen to carry out this devious hostile takeover? It's been busted.
Yes.
And if they know what is good for them, let all of them go and lawyer up right now. Molefe Slepedi, go and lawyer up. And you better go to Sunday World and tell them to put down that false article that you told that reporter to write about me. I don't know how much you paid him to do it. Because I don't understand why there isn't an outrage already.
Exactly.
With what I am talking about right now, because I'm showing the receipts and I'm waiting for the outrage from the country, just like there was an outrage when they lied about me without no receipt.
Yeah, we are the bloggers now. Let them come and
absolutely
start spreading it.
Let the bloggers start spreading. Let it social media commentators who are looking for salacious stories. I'm giving you one to work on right now. Let the intelligence agencies who are looking for crime, let them now start investigating.
Exactly.
I put it out there. And like I said when I started, this platform is not just for, just our own national intelligence. It's also for international intelligence.
Yes.
Because they put my life at risk of where I am. I had a landlord who investigated, went online and checked me. And he told me that where we were staying, he said, I'll call the FBI on you.
Yeah.
That's what he told me.
For what?
He said, I'm going to report you to the FBI. You are a thief.
Yeah, you stole
money and you ran and you came here.
You came here.
That was what the person told me. And this is a very wealthy man in this city where I am. Very wealthy, has a lot of connections.
Wanted to do great business with us.
And the business we wanted to do with him, everything got bundled up. Why? Because now when he Googled me, he found out, he said, wow. He said, I'm going to report you to the FBI. And I believe it, Bobby D. And they checked and they found out that there's nothing on me.
Yes.
So now do you think that the people who have done all this and destroyed so much are going to just walk away? And some people say this is revenge. It's not revenge because they are not even, they have no sense of empathy. They are not even repentant enough to say, let me go and withdraw what I wrote. What they went and lied about us. They are not even withdrawing the things they put out there. King Telekoa who was a migrant coordinator of EFF. He has not even put down the tweet that he put up on Twitter. He hasn't put it down still.
He won for the 300.
They found one for the 300 million that he accused me that I sold the property and ran off with the loot. Which started the whole thing. He hasn't put it down. So if their CIC is listening to me, Julius Malema, let him look into this matter. Because you can't destroy somebody's life and you guys are going about and you're living yours.
Yeah, because it's going to affect all of
It's affecting everyone already. I already said that yesterday.
Malema is going to affect you. You better look into your camp.
Yes, it's going to affect.
This is going to be brought to zero. If you don't look into this account. You need to look into this account, Julius Malema. Look into this account because this guy has brought smoke into your camp. Look into it and cast him out. And they need to restitute.
Yeah.
They need to repair.
It's not even our lives alone.
Yeah. All the thousands
it's
of people.
The thousands of people whose life has been shattered. Thousands.
Yeah.
All across the country. Crying. Who have nowhere to go to. 60%, according to what somebody said, of marriages have been broken because of their actions. And they're going around and they're still acting brazen. Look at all the orphanages we are helping, the old age homes we are helping. All of those people, they are all our recipients. Who is going to help them now? Where are they? Where are these people? Where are they? They just ran off into hiding and they think that it's just going to end like that and they think we will never find out what they did. Now we're telling to the whole country.
Yeah.
And I hope and I pray and I believe that this is going to pick up a steam from today. I know the president is speaking right now.
I hope he listens to it.
He's speaking.
Honey, I hope Julius Malema listens to this because Julius Malema, one of his camp, this same guy we're talking about, was the one who started this whole thing.
Yes.
He started it.
Absolutely, he did.
So he needs to account for it. Julius Malema, I am calling you. I am calling you. My husband has been talking. I've not been talking. I'm calling you, Julius Malema, to look into the case. Just like we're calling on the president to look into the case. We are calling you. You are the president of your party. Your party. You look into the case. Like I said, otherwise, your camp, your whatever political party will be zero to nothing. Julius Malema, I'm addressing you respectfully, because I know you have ambitions. You're doing what you're doing. It's none of our business. We mind our business. What has your guy or whatever his name is, what has it got to do with us? Why would he just come and lie on us? So you made it political. Your camp will go to zero if you do not attend to it immediately. I've just told you.
All right.
I'm a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a mother. I give birth to children. I could as well give birth to you, Mr. Malema. I am crying for you to come in and see to this matter. Julius Malema, sir, look into this matter. It came from you. The other day you went to Nigeria. Look, we are Nigeria. The same way they loved you and took care of you, the same way we're in your country and we took care of your people. We made them our people. They were like our people. We were one with them. And they did this to us. From your own camp, Julius Malema, from your camp, I'm calling on you. I'm asking you to do something about it. And if you do not do anything about it, I am telling you today, your political party is over. I decree it, and you must act very fast to do something about it, because you will see it with your eyes that your party will go zero. I'm a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a lover. I give birth. I give birth to children. I give birth to products. I give birth to life. I am telling you right now, with respect, Julius Malema, call to order that very person who did this and let him start repairing, apologize, and he will, what's the word? He will restitute. He will restitute exactly everything that we lost in this process. He will pay for it. That is what I am demanding. That's what I'm demanding, Julius Malema. Attend to your guy, your camp. Attend to your party. That very one that did this must be called to order. And he must pay. He must pay. And to the president, my president, I'm asking you again, come to our aid. Come to our aid, because this is not right. And come quickly, because things are getting spoiled by the day, by the minute in the country. Come quickly and come and take care of us. Repair this. Address this, because this is evil at all corners. In whatever way you can look at it, this is evil. And if we can take the time now and be calling on you to come and do something about it. Sir, please, with we being humble, we are asking you to intervene on this matter and let restitution be done, because they've left us with nothing, sir. How are we supposed to eat when they blackmail us and say all this bad stuff about us all over the world? How are we supposed to take care of our families? How? Sir, Mr. President, we are calling you to come and take care of this matter. The country is already going terrible. These are one of the things that have been done to the soil of the country. They saw the country. Unrighteousness is like crazy in the country. Evil is like crazy because they've done evil to people, innocent people. We are one of them calling on you, sir. We are one of the solution of the country, and we have been done evil like this. And so we are calling on you. I am calling on you. I am calling on you, Mr. President. I'm calling on you to come and look into our matter. I'm a woman. You are married. First Lady, come and look into our matter. All the women, ministers, all the women in the country, do something. I'm calling on all the women in the country. You cannot treat us this way. Those people cannot treat us this way, and you people keep quiet. I am speaking now, and I'm calling on all the women who are giving birth, who knows what pain is to give birth to a child. I'm calling on all of you. I'm calling on the First Lady of the country, South Africa, to come and look into our matter. It's very important. It's so crucial for the country. It's so crucial. So look into it. And come quickly. Come quickly. Thank you so much. We appreciate. We bless you all.
Well, I just want to say to everyone who have been with us on this broadcast, thank you for your love, your solidarity. We just had to put the truth out there for the world to see.
Yes.
In black and white. And we still do have other receipts of the things that happened. Email communications, all of these things are things that we have. There is no justification
for this,
for what they have done. There's no justification.
No.
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 Not one.
No.
This is like trying to kill a fly with a sledgehammer.
Yes.
It's an overkill.
It is.
It's an overkill.
It is. We help to build the country.
And
yes, we help to build the country.
I believe that this matter is settled. That's what I believe. I'm not waiting. I believe it's settled.
Yes.
It is settled.
Yes.
And like I said, share, post it.
Post it.
Send it out to your friends.
Bloggers come in and take it and spread it around.
Talk about it.
Yes, this is great news.
Yeah.
This is great news. Deliverance has come into South Africa. Sort this case out. You've sorted out every other case in the country. Yes. This is great news. Yeah. All the bloggers start spreading it.
And peace has come to a lot of our people
yes.
who are confused as to what had happened. A lot of them have an inside scoop now into what had transpired, the brazen hijack that went wrong. And the reason why it went wrong is because they don't see eye to eye. They're always fighting themselves. They kept on fighting each other. And God allowed them to do so. God scattered them. God put confusion in their midst and did not let them go scot-free with this. They did it so brazenly. They did it so quietly, so stealthily. They veiled their whole tracks that this will never be found out. But God unlocked the whole thing. And here you are, you're hearing it today.
Yes. How can you do this? They talk about the whites. How can you do this to your black brothers and sisters? How can you do this? And then you say we should keep quiet. We kept quiet for over 4 years so that we don't bring this kind of matter into the public.
Yeah.
Over 4 years we kept quiet. We kept communicating with you, trying to get you guys to come to take those things out of the media.
Yeah.
But nothing was done. And so now
we suffered in silence for so long. And this is for those, as I close, those who go about and say, but why are you washing the dirty linen of the church in public? I've been in that space for 4 years.
Yes.
Suffering with my family, my wife, my kids, my grandkids. We're going through a lot.
Selling everything that we have just to keep ourselves going.
Sicknesses that we've had.
For what? For doing
trauma,
good?
Mental health issues that we had to overcome. We overcame them. My children had to go for therapy.
Yes, I had to go for therapy.
She went for therapy. We all went for therapy.
All of us had to go for therapy.
So that we can
Horrible. What we've gone through. Horrible. And then somebody's thinking, look, guys, keep praying for us. We need your support. Give to us because, we need your support. We need your support. We are not wasteful people. We're very, what word should I use?
We're very, very judicious.
That's it, the word.
With whatever resources that places in our hands. That's why you're able to see the building.
The building that you see there.
You know, but it's okay. This is how much we want to say for tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
For your solidarity, your prayer, your love.
Support.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
But you heard from our own very mouth, not from somebody else.
Yes.
Blessings to every one of you. And until our next broadcast, grace and peace. We love you guys.
Yes.